Hi, my name is Daryl Parks. I'm the reference librarian at the Donald K. North Library at Heritage University, and I'm going to show you some resources you'll find helpful for doing education research. We're going to start at the very beginning in case some of you aren't familiar with this process. This is the university's main page, and you can get to the library using this link up here in the corner. So click on that. Before we jump into the resources, I want to call your attention to the different ways on this page that you can use to ask questions if you need help, and I really encourage you to ask if you need help. You can chat with us. This is probably the most direct way to get in touch with us. Anytime between 8 and 5, you can chat with us and we'll chat back. You can also text us at this number, and we'll text you back as long as you text us during sort of normal operating hours. After hours, the text was received, but we won't get it till the next morning, so expect it then. You can also email us. If you email me during the day, I'll get back to you very fast. If you email me in the evening, I'll try to get back to you that night, but sort of within reason. You know, if you email me a minute till midnight, I'm already asleep. Sorry. I'll get back to you that morning. And of course, you can call us, or if you happen to be in the neighborhood, you're of course welcome to stop by my desk and ask me questions. I really encourage you to take me up on this if you need help. Helping students succeed is a big part of what I do. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Without further ado, I want to show you a couple of different things. The first thing I want to show you is Primo. Primo is our discovery service. It searches all of our online content at once. I'm going to search for bilingual education and press go. Takes a minute, but here we are. Now, what we're seeing here is a mix of resources. Because Primo looks at our entire collection, we have a number of books, some of which can be accessed online, and some of which you would have to actually come here and check out in person. We also have scholarly articles written by scholars that are available through our article databases. If you need a particular type of source, or for example, if you're only interested in stuff that you can access online, you can click on this, for example, and that will get rid of the things that you'd actually need to come here and check out. Or if you need peer-reviewed journals, you can apply yet another filter. And these filters stack. So right now we're looking at peer-reviewed journals that we have full text of online. You can also refine your results by subject, so bilingualism or bilingual education as a subject heading. Notice that number there is considerably smaller because right now it's doing a keyword search. So anything that mentions bilingual education, even if it's not really primarily about bilingual education. Another thing that might be relevant for your research is limiting things by date. So there's lots of ways to do this. And if you add a filter and then you want to get rid of it, you can just click the X there and it'll go away. Now, actually in this case we're actually going to include full text online because we're getting a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't have full text. Once we have these sources, well, what do we do with them? If you click on View Online, it'll show you what databases we have access to that particular article through. So this one we have through Education Research Complete. If I click on that, it'll take me there as soon as it's done connecting. Primo doesn't actually have any content itself. All it does is connect you to other databases that do have the content. So here we're looking at the record for this article in Education Research Complete. And I'll show you some things you can do with Education Research Complete proper in a few minutes. If you've never used an EBSCO database before, you can access the entire article using this link here, the PDF full text. Don't use the print or save buttons over here because those print or save the page that you're currently on. That won't give you the full article. You need to actually open the PDF and print or save that. Everything you find in Primo we have through one subscription database or another, or sometimes we have it through an open access journal, like some of these we have through DOAJ. Primo casts a very wide net, which is both a good and a bad thing. It searches everything that we have, which is really cool. But it also means that you often end up with a lot of material to go through. 3,000 results is more than a person can realistically sift through in any reasonable amount of time. So you often have to do a lot of filtering, or get lucky or refine your search in order to find something useful in Primo. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to show you a couple of other things. The next thing I want to show you can reach from this page. Anytime you find an article that we don't have access to, you search for it in Primo and it's not there, or you search for it in Education Research Complete and it's not there, or you can only find an abstract or a table of contents or whatnot, or you follow a link and you end up at a paywall that is, a site saying, oh, sure, you can access this article for the low price of $34. You can access it for an entire day. You should never pay that while you're a student here, because you have access to interlibrary loan. If you click on this link, Borrow from Another Library, or ILL, it'll take you to this form. Fill this out as fully as you can. The more information you give us about the material, the better. So what you should end up with is something very close to a full citation, because that's what we need in order to get the article for you. The other thing that's very important is give us an email that you check regularly, because that's how we're going to get the article to you. This process takes a few days. Sometimes it takes less. I've seen ILL requests filled in a matter of hours, but I've also seen them take the better part of a week. So make sure that you allow time in your research for any articles that you find but don't have immediate access to get to you. If you come to us saying, well, I need this article and I need it tomorrow, my paper is due in less than 24 hours, there's not a whole lot we can do for you. We're going to go back one more time, and I'm going to take you through a couple of more specialized databases that may be helpful for your research. If we go to peer-reviewed or scholarly research and then go to education, we have quite a bit on education. Education databases from EBSCO and education journals from ProQuest are the places I would recommend that you start. Normally, ERIC is a good resource, but right now I wouldn't recommend it, and I can actually show you why. ERIC has very limited availability of full text right now. It was recently discovered by them that some of their articles had identifying information that could be used to identify people that participated in some of those studies by name. Since that's an ethical violation, what they did was take down all of their full text, and they are in the process of evaluating it and restoring it only once they're satisfied that it's safe. There's a form you can fill out to request that a particular PDF or particular article be made available sooner, that it sort of be moved to the top of the line. The last time I requested one of those, though, they told me to expect it to be available in about 4 months. So that's probably not helpful to you right now. Normally, ERIC is a really good resource, but they've been trying to get their house in order on this for a while, and I'm not sure when they're going to be done. If we click on this, you should find this familiar because we were just here. This is an education database from EBSCO, or several education databases from EBSCO. If you've never used an EBSCO database before, I'm going to show you the basics. If you have, then this may be a review for you, but please bear with me. We have a lot of options down here. I'm going to turn on full text and scholarly articles. Sometimes for more advanced research, you want to leave full text off because you want to see everything about your topic, even the things that the database only has indexing for. I'm going to do a search for bilingual education again. And if I could spell bilingual education, that would be really good. There we go. So, large number of hits. And we've intentionally allowed, this is another way that you can request an article through interlibrary loan. If you look at one of these articles, like say this one, and you're like, gosh, that's just perfect. That's exactly what I need. We don't have full text access for it, but there's a button here that if you click on will take you to a different ILL form. We need a lot of the same information. The cool thing about doing it this way is that it actually autofills the citation data for you. So that's sort of how that works. The other thing you can do is check SFX to see if we have it through some other database. You know, the downside of doing this, as it turns out, we only have this available as an abstract. But it's usually worth checking because we have a lot of different databases. Let me go back again and find something that's full text. One important thing to know about how this process works is that since right now what we're doing is a keyword search. It's just like searching Google. This is all the text, everything that I'm highlighting, is all the text that the database looks for your search terms in. It doesn't look in the full article. It sort of can't see the full article. only the title, the abstract, these subject terms, and so on. You want to take that into account when you're creating your searches. Sometimes by restricting your search to title or to abstract, you can get sort of more precise results. And you can do that here. This field here, if you don't tell it to do anything, it looks everywhere. But you can also specify, you can look for anything by a particular author, you can look for articles by title or by subject terms, and so on. You might be wondering what I mean when I say subject terms. Every article in this database has been indexed. And someone took a look at it and said, all right, these are the words that best describe what this article is about. These come from a particular list. They don't just choose words at random. And they do this on purpose so that you can be confident that when you do a search for, say, if I click on this, what I'm essentially telling the database to do is bring me every article that has that subject term, bilingual education, attached to it. And I can be confident that I'm seeing everything that Education Research Complete has on bilingual education because of the way this is tagged. I don't have to guess and say, well, did they catalog it under bilingual education or structured English immersion or dual language instruction? There are a lot of different ways to say this. They're saying everything in our database is cataloged as bilingual ed. You can make use of this if we go to the Education Thesaurus. Another thing you can do if your search terms are sort of not producing results, if I'm gonna put in bilingual education, I'm actually going to spell it right this time. And this will tell me, okay, these are the subject headings that bilingual education is cataloged under. It'll also sometimes tell you that certain words you should use a different term instead. So like biliteracy, they say use bilingual education instead. Or Binet Stanford test, use Stanford Binet test instead, and so on. One other thing that I would like to show you is some resources that we have that will help you cite your sources. For this, we're going to have to go all the way back to the library homepage. And you can actually just click on this link here, Help Citing Your Sources. This is a quick guide that I've put together to help you help answer some of the common questions that I get about citation styles. Each one of these tabs goes into a different aspect of a particular citation style. This one answers common questions like about format and font and so on. And then it'll give examples of in-text citations, how to effectively paraphrase or quote sources. And then on the next tab, you'll see sort of how to format your reference list. There's also a bank of links to the Purdue OWL. This is sort of my favorite citation assistant site on the web that goes into a great deal of detail. They cover a lot of the more unusual sources that I haven't included here. These are the most common things that students need help citing, or the things on this page. But if you need help citing something weird, the OWL is definitely the way to go. There's also a neat little tutorial for APA if you're new to it or if you haven't used it in a while. If you have any questions about this or about anything else, please feel free to ask me. I'm happy to help you. That's a big part of what I do. And I really encourage you to ask for help if you need it. As a matter of fact, you're welcome to ask me almost anything. If you ask me what the purpose of man's existence is, I'll probably tell you that's a little bit above my pay grade, but I'm happy to take a crack at almost anything else. I hope you found this useful. I thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your time. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions.